And away we go. It is the BCJ Podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at the Holy Grail. They will get you taken care of. Keegan and I were there this afternoon. I had a quite delicious barbecue chicken pizza. Keegan had the, I can't make this up. Keegan had the grilled Caesar salad wrap.
I can't stand
but it was great. Mine was. I don't know about Keegan's. I didn't take a bite, but I'm assuming it was great as well. So go see our good friends at the Holy Grail. And of course, anytime you order a Cincy Light from the Grail, 50 cents will be donated back into the University of Cincinnati's athletic fund, and they will take care of the athletes that you enjoy watching. So go to the Holy Grail, support those that not only support us, but that also support the University of Cincinnati. All right, special edition tonight as it is almost time. I had a wonderful sit down today, talked with Coach Satterfield for about 25 minutes and talked with Tyson Veit for about 15 minutes. Those will be released throughout the week to get things ready for training camp that starts on Monday. We're at Camp Higher Ground. It's time. It is football season. It is upon us. I know, Dave, the Bengals started camp today. Does football season officially start today?
Yes.
Okay. So we are officially in football season here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think so. Keegan, are you still cutting post honeymoon? Is this what this order was about today?
I'm kind of. I'm more main gaining now, but my mother-in-law.
Did you just make up a word?
No, it's main
gaining.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a yeah. The issue is my mother-in-law bought way too much graters for the wedding, so we have like 12 pints of graters. So I've just been having half a pint every night.
Well, if you have any peach or key lime pie, I'm happy to take those off your hands.
Salted caramel and black raspberry chip. That's all we got.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it is. How was your grilled chicken Caesar wrap today?
It was delicious, and the fries were also very good. Did your pizza come with fries?
No, I just had pizza.
It didn't.
I love their pizza.
Their fries
my server
awesome.
was a little taken aback because whenever we do watch parties, I always get a large pepperoni pizza for the table, so everybody can have some pizza. And I threw her off today when I ordered the barbecue chicken. She even made a comment. She's like, I didn't know if you wanted the crushed red pepper and the Parmesan on the barbecue chicken because you normally get pepperoni. Well, I want it on this too. So yeah, it was a great trip. Good to see Jimmy and Don working today.
Mm-hmm.
Got to catch up with both of them. Jimmy threw a curveball at us. He kept bringing out all the food to the tables around us, and every time we'd be like looking like, is that us? No, it's not us. But we had a great time, and it's about that time. So I'm even going with an ice cold Cincy Light tonight.
There you go.
It was a late decision, late call, but I've got a busy weekend. Kelsey turns 15 on Friday.
Wow.
So first thing Friday morning, we have an appointment at the DMV to get her temps.
You know, you don't have. You know, for the sake of all of us, you don't have to let her drive.
I know.
Like, it's not like a law that says you turn in a certain age, you have to get your license.
I'm not looking forward to it, Dave.
Neither are any of us.
And then she's got a party on Saturday. There's going to be a bunch of people at my house. I felt like I was going to need a couple Cincy Lights tonight while we did the camp preview. So
let them flow.
Cheers. Let them flow. But let's get to it, guys. It's a pivotal year. It's a critical year. Scott Satterfield has said he's got his most talented team. I think we're all pretty much in agreement with that in terms of top-end talent, in terms of depth, in terms of athleticism and size. Like, this is the best group he's had. What that exactly means and translates to, I don't know. But it is it's time to talk about it. It's time to get the ball rolling. It's been a kind of dry, slow summer. There's very little coaching turnover, very little player turnover. Like Dave, you've said it a bunch of times. It is like it's time to get the ball rolling and figure out where this thing is at, because we can talk about it 10 ways till Sunday. All that's going to matter is what happens on those 12 Saturdays this year.
Yeah. I mean, I'll you know, I don't want to compare the two, but like, you know, I know recruiting is the lifeblood of your program, and the portal has changed that to varying levels of degrees based on what type of program you have. But like, I don't really care about any of that stuff right now. This is an on the field season. Like, great. I'm not saying it's not important. Get the best players you can get, because the coaches should feel like we're going to have a great year. We're going to be back next year and years beyond that. But like from my standpoint, watching the team, covering the team, I'm kind of just like, okay, that's nice. Let's start talking about actual games and the team and what the prospects are for the season.
Keegan, where are you at? Year 3 on the beat for you?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Keegan's brain at going into this bad boy?
I feel like I keep on repeating myself, because I think year 1 I was pretty optimistic, and then it just didn't go the way I thought it would. Year 2 I was also optimistic because I thought they finally had a quarterback. I think they did have a quarterback, and I think he's still a good quarterback, but it was just the small stuff, and it was the 1 to 2 plays a game, and I feel like it was the same thing in 2023 too. When you think about the kickoff against Baylor, you think about the pick 6 against BYU, just like, I feel like a lot of it wasn't talent, but the small stuff and the margin of error is bigger when you have that Big 12 size and more Big 12 talent. So I feel like this team can go 9-3. I also feel like this team can go 5-7 again. I'm somewhere in that kind of range. And I think I'm going to give it a couple. I'm going to give it fall camp before I come out with my official record prediction for the season. Because there's some things that I need to see in fall camp before I can verify it.
If you had to go with, like, what is your top storyline, and I'm sure we'll get an article from you Monday going into camp on, you know, what your take is on things. But Dave, Keegan, if you had a number 1 storyline going into this camp, what would it be?
They have a defensive line that isn't on life support. I think that's the biggest thing for me. You have Jalen Hunt and Micah Coleman, who were going to be basically starters last year. You have them back. You have a fully healthy Dante Corleone, who isn't going to be off to the side doing cardio. And you brought in Jalen White-McLean, CJ McCray. And then the depth in terms of true freshmen are the first true freshman defensive linemen they brought in that actually have Big 12 size. And they actually have the physical ability to plug and play in a situation where they're not being forced to, like they did with Marcos Parker as a freshman, who played well and was definitely serviceable, played well, especially for a true freshman. But there was just a lot in that area of the field last year that was left to be desired. So I think, especially in this scheme, especially if they're going to be more diverse with the blitzes that they're going to have from the linebacker position, like Coach Satterfield has said that they're going to do, I think the defensive line could be the second most important position on the team behind quarterback this year.
May I give you 2? 1 for each side of the ball.
It's a podcast, so really you can kind of do whatever the hell you want. Like that, we don't have, you know,
I mean,
we don't have any limits.
My one kind of piggybacks a little bit off of what Keegan said there, and also what he wrote in his article with talking to Walt Stewart. But I'm going to just go with Can they score over 30 points a game? I kind of don't think anything else matters, if we're being completely honest. And then tying into that, who are the explosive who are the big play threats? Who are the explosive players on offense? I know for certain of one right now, Evan Pryor, because he's done it at this level. I think it was 5 runs of over 50 yards or 5 plays from scrimmage over 50 yards. I think there are others. Cyrus Allen has done it in fits and starts. Caleb Goody did it a little bit last year, but at a lower level. And Jeff Caldwell, we're hoping can, and did it at a much lower level. But you are going into a season where a lot of things outside of the wide receiver room were the exact same from last year as far as weapons and such. How confident are we that they can actually do what they need to do from just a purely points per game standpoint? Because if they can't get to 30, they're not winning enough games. I will put that down in pen, in whatever form of medium you want to put it down. If the 2025 Bearcats do not average 30 points a game, they will not get to the win total that we all want them to get to.
28 not good enough.
No, not even close. Like that's barely a step up from last year. That's like less than 3 points, 2 points up from last year. Like, and I'm not even saying 30 is going to do it, but like that's it. That's the bench. That's the low benchmark that they need to get to. I mean, you look at the teams they're playing in the conference, like TCU, Iowa State, Utah's. I mean, I didn't even know this when we were talking the other day. I've since found some stuff out. Utah not only brings in this quarterback that I really, really like, they probably have both tackles will get drafted in the first round next year. Like, they're going to score. So you better find some dudes that can put the ball in the end zone on 3, 4, 5 play drives, because we're not going to get it done 10, 12 plays at a time.
Yeah, I think that's been the thing that's been the most kind of frustrating about the first 2 years of the offense in the Satterfield era. They've put up a bunch of yards. Like they've moved the ball fairly well up and down the field. But to Dave's point, they've done it in 10 plays. They've done it in 12 plays. They've done it in 15 plays. Very, very rarely has it been in 5.
Well, 2023 they had no issues moving the ball from 20 to 20.
Yeah.
I mean, there were games that they were losing where they were close games. It wasn't like they were just getting empty yards. I mean, you're at 500, 600-yard games and you're scoring like not even 30 points.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, yeah. It takes 10, 12 plays to get. I'm not saying they're empty yards. I'm saying they're very difficult yards.
Yeah.
They're yards that, like, you're ramming your head against the wall over and over and over. And when you're doing that, you're going to inevitably have a holding call, have a false start, have, a fumble. Like, it's just not sustainable to have to grind like that. Like, this is not football in 1964.
It's like, not even football like 2008.
Yeah.
Like,
I was being over dramatic.
Right. I know what you mean. But my other one then, off of what Keegan said, is who's causing havoc on defense? I think the defense can be pretty damn good.
I do too.
But we've seen the last 2 years, they haven't been able to get to the quarterback. As Keegan noted in his article, no one has had over 4 sacks since Curtis Brooks in 2021. And they haven't intercepted the ball. So almost the same as like offense. You can have a really good defense, but you're going to go up against good offenses. You have to take the ball away. You have to sack the quarterback. You have to put teams in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and force an errant throw and be there to intercept it. They for about the first half of last year, they were one of the best teams at forcing fumbles. but those things are just, they're cyclical. They're not,
well,
you can't count on that stuff. Like
teams figured out when Antoine Peak is near you, you better protect it because he's going to punch it out if he can.
Defensively, I still have questions of like, who is getting to the quarterback? And then on for the defensive backs, that's not as much of a question as who is intercepting the ball, who is caught. Like, just as a group, they have to do it more. It's harder to say like this person, I'm looking at this person to intercept the ball because they might just not throw at you, or there's so many different variables. It's much easier to go like, I need one particular player to be the one that gets 7.5, 8.5, double-digit sacks. Like, who are those guys? Are they on the roster? And how does that work with the defensive backs? Because it can't be like 5 interceptions again, and 2 or 3 of them are from your linebackers or whatever it was last year. I mean, so I think those are kind of the 2 biggest questions going into camp. And I don't know if you can really answer either of them, because it's a hard, like, okay, say one person emerges and is like, oh, this guy's getting at the quarterback a lot. I'm not sure that necessarily translates into in-game situations when there's more game planning. It's just a different outcome in practice because you're not going to hit Sorsby. You're not, anybody that we're looking to make an impact on Saturdays in the fall is not going to be allowed to touch the quarterback.
Right.
The live periods are going to be guys that we're not anticipating probably playing very much. And if the wide receivers we talked about this several years ago, like when the wide receivers are running open all day long, then I would have concerns about, are the defensive backs going to be in position to make interceptions? The time we talked about it was the wide receivers couldn't get open, and we were like, well, we don't even think the DBs are that good. So if these guys can't get open, this was several years ago. I mean, I think that might have even been like a Tuberville team.
Pickle's first team. Ooh.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be hard to really take anything for certain in those places, other than maybe like if one or two of the receivers do consistently show that they can make big plays. I think that is probably something that you might be able to hang your hat on a little bit, but getting to the quarterback's going to be tough to read. And they'll have days where they intercept the ball, but like how many of them are against Sorsby? How many of them are in true 11-on-11 sets against other Big 12 starter-like players?
Yeah. I think for me, it's Brendan Sorsby. Like, I think we saw enough through the first 7 games last year to say this guy has the wherewithal. He has the talent, the ability, the arm. At that point, he had really good command control of the offense. And then that went away. It just kind of vanished. And how much of that was teams figuring out, like, take away Xavier Henderson, limit Joe Royer, and then, the offense doesn't really have anywhere to go besides handing the ball to Corey Kiner for 4 yards. But, if they're going to get the 30 points a game, Dave, Brendan Sorsby has to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the Big 12. Like that for me, it kind of begins and ends there. Like, is he ready to take that step as a leader, as the architect of the offense? Okay. As the architect of the offense, is he able to control the line of scrimmage, control the ability to make big plays, to get the ball to a guy in space, in a position to make a big play? Not, you got a guy running free and you throw it behind him and he's got to slow up and reach back to catch it. Next thing you know, the safeties close in, and a good throw would have got you 30 yards, but an okay throw got you 12. Like, that for me if this offense is going to be what we think it's going to be because Brendan Sorsby had a great year.
Yeah.
And
I agree. My thing with him is I won't put like yardage totals or touchdown totals or even like where he falls in the pantheon of Big 12 quarterbacks. Mine's going to be, we can't have the peaks and the valleys like you saw last year, where you have a really, really good game or even a really, really good half, and then we fall off a cliff. Or like, as we saw at the end of the season, and I'm not necessarily even pinning this on him. I wouldn't even pin the majority of this on him. But we can't have any games where it's like they just can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, that happened too many times last year.
120 yards passing.
Right. I mean, they didn't break 100 yards at Iowa State until like late into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So, of course, I think it correlates. The higher you are in those statistics, the better you're going to play and what have you. But, like, you can't give me Texas Tech and then turn around the next week and go 53% for 145 yards and a touchdown and interception.
Yeah.
Like that,
that's why I think he's my number one storyline. Is he ready to look like a guy that's in essentially his third year of starting, 1 year in the Big Ten, or 2/3 of a year in the Big Ten, and then a full year in the Big 12? This is now, last year it was fine to say he didn't start the year at Indiana. He came in late. He played pretty well in stretches. He didn't play well in some stretches. I think that'd be fair, wouldn't it, Keegan?
Yes.
And then, okay, well, this is his first full year starting. He's starting in a new league. He's starting in a new system. Now it's his team. He's the quarterback. It's his strength. And if it's strength, then Cincinnati's going to be pushing 7, 8, 9 wins. If it's too much weakness, if it's trying to fling a ball while, somebody's draping off his hip, and all of a sudden there's a safety taking it the other way for 6 in the fourth quarter in a tight game, then they're not going to get to where they want to get. So, yeah, there's still questions at receiver, and we'll get into that as we carry on with this show. Yes, there's still questions at receiver, but you've got a good running back room. You've got a good tight end. You've got what should be a solid offensive line, although that's something I'm sure we'll get to here shortly on how long that takes to come together, because that's a group that is essentially brand new, like as a unit. So, but yeah, it's Brendan Sorsby for me, because I have faith that Vite is going to put a solid defense on the field. Are they ready to be like the best defense in the Big 12? I'm not ready to say that, but
to win 8 games, they don't need to be, if the offense can at least just take that step. Now, if the offense can't, then I don't think they're going to be good enough they're not good enough to carry the other side of the ball. They're good enough to complement it and bail it out in certain situations potentially, but they're not good enough to be like, all right, guys, like, they're not the Bengals last year where the offense was like, hey, whatever, we know our defense stinks. We're still going to at least have a chance to win until the end of most games. Like, they're not going to be that good. They're not one of the 5 best defenses or whatever in the nation.
Right. They're not the 2021 Cincinnati Bearcats.
No.
Sauce and Kobe aren't walking through that door. MyJ Sanders isn't walking through that door.
No.
So, this is an exercise I'd like to try. We're not going to do a draft because we did a draft on the BBP a couple weeks ago.
And you guys failed miserably.
I'm done with drafts on podcasts. Okay. But I think this is something we can talk through without drafting anyone. So let's start on offense. Let's take out Sorsby. Let's take out Royer. Okay. 5 names that we will be talking about at the end of the season if this team gets to 8 or 9 wins. 5 names that we will be saying, hey, it was on the strength of, these guys stepping up and going from guys we had some faith in or whatever, to guys that were the reason they won games. Like you point back and you go, oh, that was the so-and-so game. That was the, whatever it may be. Or this guy rose from, knowing he would be a starter to second team all Big 12. Like something along those lines. So let's start with offense. And I think you kind of have to go Joe Cotton, right?
First name I just typed. I just typed. Yeah.
He would definitely be in my 5.
If they knew they needed a left tackle. I think John Williams is one of the maybe more underappreciated offensive linemen of my time doing this, almost 20 years. Like, John had an incredible season last year. From a guy that we weren't sure. Like, there were a lot of doubts going into last season. Like, if John Williams is going to be your every snap left tackle, what does that look like?
Right.
And he worked himself all the way into a draft pick. I think Cotton has to be a guy that has a monster type season at left tackle to fill the shoes that he's being asked to be filled. But it's 6'7", 320 pounds. I'm excited to get to see him, even if it's just in, shorts and a jersey and a helmet on Monday to see what physically he really looks like in person. But I think he's number 1 for me. He's number 1 for Keegan. Dave's got him somewhere in the top 5.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts
on Joe Cotton specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm expecting him to come in and not miss a beat.
Stay healthy.
I know the position scarcity probably inflates your value a little bit, especially in the spring portal. But like, it wasn't a surprise, maybe to the general public, but like, it wasn't a surprise that 30-something teams were interested.
Yeah,
he's a good player. He's put good tape out there against, I want to say it was it Iowa State or Iowa? I can't remember.
Wisconsin.
Okay. One of those teams with lots of white guys. But put good tape out there against them. Like, I know they're just, this kind of goes on to the offensive line topic. I know there are just, it's not questions in the sense of, I would say more unknowns, just because he's new, Tarantayo's new, but like, I'm maybe overly confident, but like, I think the offensive line has a chance to be very good. I think Tayo was a very, very good add at guard. Cotton, obviously, again, we'll see on all this stuff, but like, Evan got to play a bunch last year. Buford played a bunch the last 2 years. Seems to have fixed some of the issues that he had at tackle in 23. Played some guard then too. He's kind of like an in-between guy for both positions, but I think he maybe is a little bit more natural at right tackle. I think the line's going to be good. And so, like, the first person I thought of was Tyree Walker, because I think they're going to be able to run the ball again well. I think they got 3 pretty darn good backs. I'll be interested to see how the whole distribution of carries goes with him and Evan. But, it's hard to put numbers on them because we want the offense to be more dynamic, and we need the receivers to be a much bigger focal point of the offense and have 3, 4, 5 play drives. So that means that you're likely not going to be accumulating as many rushing yards with those two guys if things are going well in that direction. But like, I would be pretty surprised if both of those guys don't rush for at least 800 yards. I think that would mean that there are injuries on the offensive line, or the receivers are not getting it done, and we're having to, run the ball even more. But we're in the same situation that they've been in the last couple of years.
I almost think if you want to get to the point where you're winning 8 games, Evan Pryor has to have a significantly better season than Tawi, just because of the explosive plays, 3, 4, 5 play drives. Because if he's not busting those runs, then that means it's 3 yards, 4 yards, and then it's 3rd and 3, and then you only get those conversions 46% of the time from Tawi if you don't run an RPO and throw an incompletion.
Right.
I think where Tawi's important, Dave, is first down. I mean, that was one of the advantages you had with Evan Pryor is he never got caught behind his pads. Like he never put you in 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. It was
Corey Kiner.
Corey Kiner. Sorry, Corey Kiner.
Yes, I knew.
Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. Kiner was able to put you in 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. They didn't do enough with it far too often.
Right.
But I do think that is where a guy like Tawi is important, is one, being able to get you in that 2nd and 6, and also somebody that can come in and hammer a 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
And keep a drive moving so you're not forced to punt.
Yeah, maybe 800 each is probably a little bit too ambitious. Probably like 650, 700. Because Brendan's going to run the ball too. I probably forgot about that element of it as well.
Yeah, but
he's not going to
not as much.
Well, hopefully not as much, but you're not going to take that element away from him.
No, it's a threat.
You're not going to have the number of designed runs that he had towards the end of last year, or hopefully then not the number of plays where no one was freaking open and he ended up running 20 times in a game. Like that element, but I mean 5 to 7 times a game.
I'm almost okay with the designed runs. The scrambles is where I hope that's cut back, because he's legitimately good at making people miss in the red zone with those QB draws. Like that was impressive sometimes to watch that last year.
Yes.
Keegan, you got a name? Who you got?
I didn't even think of it until Dave brought up Tarantayo, but I think if you're going to replace a Luke Kandra, who is a cornerstone of the zone run offense, I think he is kind of leading that charge in the running game being as good as it is. So it kind of tying back into the running backs. I talked to Coach Dawkins, and this article is going to be up tomorrow. But one thing he said about Corey and now Tawi is the blocking doesn't have to be perfect and they can still get something done. Like for some running backs, the blocking has to be perfect or nothing's going to happen. So I think for them to have the running game where it's been, the offensive line transition has to be seamless. So if the running game is good, that means Tarantayo had a really, really big part in that, because he's supposed to be that road grader, Luke Kandra level guy. So I think he has a lot of influence on the success of the offense.
I don't know that I have him in my top 5. I think he'd be close, like 5, 6, 7.
He was
somewhere
5
in there.
for me.
Yeah. Well, then you're really bad at this exercise.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, that's my 5. Number 2 is Jeff Caldwell, just because they need a end zone threat. Isolation, throw a ball up and see if he can come down with it.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to be going through your progressions on the 5-yard line in the red zone all the time and then trying to force something. Just one-on-one, see if he can beat the DB.
I think that's fair. I think pairing him with, like, if you put him next to a Royer and you've got them, lined up on the
Pick
same
one.
side of the field. Pick one. Who are you gonna shade to? Caldwell's interesting to me because I thought he started really hot in the spring, and then he kind of cooled off. Like I didn't think he made as much of an impact. We saw some drops from him towards the back half of spring ball. So I wonder how much guys were able to adjust to him, because I think he kind of surprised people with how big and fast he was at the beginning of the spring. And then it's always interesting to see how, okay, we've had a couple times to go sit in a meeting room and watch tape and adjust to it. And I thought he slowed down a little bit. So I will have a close eye on him at Higher Ground to see, does he start fast again? And then is he able to sustain it more than he did in the spring?
That's where I don't think we're talking enough about how quickly can Brendan create chemistry with these guys and get on the same page. Because, just for that reason, I'm pretty confident in saying Joe Royer is probably going to be a yards catches leader, just because they're going to be on the same page so often. And then Cyrus Allen and Jeff Caldwell might, I don't know, middle of the field, if they have the same abilities as Tony Johnson and Jamoy Mays. I feel like they're definitely downfield threats more, and which I don't think is a bad thing, because that wasn't what Jamoy Mays and Tony Johnson could do. It's almost they exclusively didn't do that, except for one play against Pitt down the right sideline for Mays. But it'd be interesting to see which wide receiver is targeted over the middle of the field the most, because that's kind of a signal of chemistry a little bit to me.
Yeah.
I'm going Cyrus Allen.
I would go Allen over Caldwell for now as well.
We saw in 23 that the middle of the field was essentially barren wasteland for a variety of reasons. In 24, we saw that it was much more of a space that they could operate in, again, for a multitude of reasons, two being Brendan Sorsby and Joe Royer. Now that Royer's in his second year, he was getting attention at the end. He didn't surprise anybody once things got rolling last year. So, but once he's in his second year, how much attention does he take, and can you use Cyrus Allen in a way to complement him when he is running a seam route and Allen is coming in behind him, or vice versa? Allen is running a post, taking two people with him, and Royer is coming in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I think of all the receivers, and it's not by leaps and bounds, but he is the most known quantity.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you brought these guys in for a reason. You got to get them the ball. Like Joe Royer's targets, obviously game play dictates a lot of things, but guy needs double-digit targets a game. I don't really care what the gameplay dictates for him, in the sense of you can't have games where you're throwing to him 5 times. And so it's kind of like a grab bag. You picked Caldwell, I picked Allen. We don't know a ton about any of them, but to me, Cyrus Allen is the one that I think, because Caldwell is your prototypical dude. Line him up outside. He's going to run certain routes. I don't want to speak out of turn, but you kind of know what he's going to be able to do. I think Cyrus Allen is the guy that you can do multiple things with and use him off of other weapons that you have. And I think gives them the most creativity in the potential in the passing game with that, and just sheer big playability, whether it's underneath stuff that he turns into a big play from yards after catch, or whether it's air yards where he's running past people. You're muted.
The question I think for me, Dave, will be, what does he do on like that intermediate route stuff?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's going to be the quick hit stuff. He's got the speed to make plays over the top, but what does the rest of the route tree look like for him? Is he, like you said, is he going to be a guy you can drag over the middle of the field as Royer's running a seam and taking the safety with him? That's the kind of stuff that I think I'm going to have my eye on with Cyrus as we go through camp, is how many different ways is he able to get open? Because I think that was a lot of like, I loved Xavier Henderson, but if he ran
like 3 routes.
Yeah. It was a comeback route. It was a go ball. And occasionally you'd see him do like a deep cross where he'd be coming over the middle of the field. But even those were few and far between. Like, you've got to have some versatility. You've got to have some guys that can run. That's why Tony Johnson was good over the course of the back half of the season, was because they were able to run different routes with him. He wasn't predictable to defend. And some of that, I think, it's fair to question, like, is the coaching staff asking these guys to do these things?
Are you trying to steal one of my other ones?
Maybe. I don't know yet. But like, are they being asked to run those clearing routes over the middle that open guys up deep? And are they a threat when they actually do run that route? Can they get open when they run that route? Because we haven't seen a lot of that in the last 2 years. And, as Satterfield pointed out today when I talked to him, a lot of that was speed. There wasn't a lot of speed in the wide receiver room, especially 2 years ago. They just didn't have the ability to move a defense. It was better last year, but it still wasn't where it needed to be. I think Cyrus Allen is, like, as you said, the most accomplished of these guys. Let's see him show in multitude of ways the ways that he can help them beat a defense and make a defense uncomfortable. Because I thought that was maybe the biggest thing last year over those last 5 games. Defenses look comfortable, man. Like, they look like they knew, if we take away these couple of things, this offense is really going to struggle to sustain drops.
Yeah. Real quick, Dave, you brought up Joe Royer's targets. You want to have over 10. How many times do you think he had 10 or more targets last year?
Twice.
Once against UCF.
All right.
How many times do you think he had 5 or less targets?
6.
5.
I'm just guessing.
So
I
there's
10 is probably a bit much, but I think it does need to be at least 6 or 7.
But he's your best player. Like,
yeah, but forcing it, like, it has to be more than just we're forcing the ball to Joe Royer. That's not hard to defend.
I mean, if Sorsby's going to, let's say Sorsby throws it 30 times a game.
What you want 1/3 of those going to Royer.
Who else would I want him going to?
10. If you split it up, you can go 10, 6, 6, and then 4 and 4. 10, 8, 5, 5, 5. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always my thing. Is like, why don't they throw the ball to this guy? Okay, well then that means they're not throwing it to this other guy. Yeah. So if I'm not designing a play where Royer's the first or second option, am I then, like, what are my probabilities of a successful play going to someone else? When he's my best receiving target.
Yeah. If you're gonna make this whole thing about him being a first round tight end and being the first tight end off the board, that's kind of what you have to do.
I mean, they didn't make that a thing. Todd McShay made that a thing, but
yeah, but they were very clear that they agree with him.
Well, I would into it. Yeah, I would hope they would, but I mean, that so much of that at that position translating to the NFL is way more than just yards and targets and catches and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he's right as of now. sight unseen of pretty much everybody in the wide receiver room. I mean, what is Barry Jackson like the only returning player that's caught a pass for the Bearcats in the wide receiver room? I mean,
has he ever actually caught a pass? Or
yes,
he's caught a couple.
I mean, Cale Woodburn and Dakari Anderson. I mean, I don't know, maybe they've caught one. I don't know. I mean, who else has caught a pass that's played for the Bearcats?
Yeah.
I'm giving the ball to Joe Royer, man.
All for this reason too, Chad. He has the best hands out of anybody. Like if you were to say I
mean, here's the perfect example. Notre Dame game 2021. How many targets did Michael Mayer get?
A lot.
Andy was hurt because their receivers were just some jags. And if Royer's that freaking good, then you throw him the ball 15 times a game.
The quarterback's
I would try 15.
No, I'm just saying, like in that game in particularly against a really good team, like that was the only way they were moving the ball.
Yeah,
they had a couple throws to a couple wide receivers here and there, but like
it's also why they got their ass kicked.
Well, the reason they got their ass kicked was because they had slow white guys playing linebacker and they had no wide receivers. But I'm saying, like, the only reason they were in the game is because
Michael Mayer
was pretty much unstoppable, and they just kept giving him the ball. I'm not taking it to that extreme, but, like, that's where I come from as a 8, 9, 10 targets a game. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying you should lock in on him, but he should be the first option. Like
every play, he's your first option?
No.
75% of the plays is your first option.
No.
Anybody else we think jumps out at you that if this is wildly successful, if this is an 8-9 win, I don't know that's wildly successful, but for what we've lived through the past 2 years, 8-9 wins is wildly successful to me.
I got one a little bit off the board, which is counter to what we've just been talking about, but I'm expecting a nice jump from Gavin Grover.
Ooh.
Okay.
That is funny. He just said 12 targets a game for Joe Royer.
But, I think
Gavin Grover.
When I say nice,
take him off the field and put Gavin Grover in.
When I say nice jump, I'm talking like he's on the field in the red zone. Like that's a easy made way to get him targets.
Yeah.
A nice jump is like from last year to 15 catches, 20 catches, targets in the red zone, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns because they're tailor made for his style of game. Like, what can you do with him and Royer on the same side? What can you do with putting guys in motion where you flood an area and you have these bigger body dudes, him, Caldwell, Royer, all on the same side, like choice routes. And like, I'm just interested to see, kind of like we saw with Travis, kind of like we saw with Josh, like, where is that jump? Because we see the athleticism and he has great hands too. I mean, he's caught some balls, whether it be in games or in practices that we've seen, that I've been like, how did you even like see that ball coming to you to catch it? So when I say a nice jump, it's still minimal comparatively speaking to Royer, but I think there's an opportunity there because of just his overall, athleticism, size, and skill set that he could be a weapon.
I think a lot of people can have confidence in what he can do just for the fact that the staff didn't bring in a backup receiving tight end. Like they're like Grover's the TE2 in terms of just pure receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a good season for him is you get done with the season and then you're looking at 2026 and you're like, okay, Gavin Grover's our tight end 1. Check. Like you don't have to worry about.
He's shown enough this year to where it's just like we just slide him right one chair down.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't do much, then you're questioning the tight end room going into next year.
Well, you just get my guy from Wayne in there and throw him the rock.
They've got 3 freaks apparently. So the other name I said is Evan Pryor, who we've already talked about. Like, take some pressure off some home run hitters, see what he can do in the pass game, even like with the screens and stuff. I think he'll have if they are good, I think he'll have a more productive season than Tawi.
He needs to be more than the home run hitter. I think that's where I fall, is like I'm not saying he's going to be your grinded out 20-25 carry game back, average 4.4 yards a carry, but it can't just be up. Evans in the game. Defense is like, watch out for him. There's got to be some variation in the way you use him, and to where he is in on first down. He is in for 2 or 3 drives in a row, and not just, it's whatever. This is a play we need to put our fast running back in.
Yeah, that's the thing is can he handle? We saw him do it in the spring, but again, running backs in spring ball, like
right.
It's really hard to judge. But he looked much more comfortable on those early down runs, running between the tackles, being a little bit more physical, being a little bit more than just a guy you want to get the ball, and when you find space, then he takes advantage of the space. Like, can he grind out 3-4 yards at a time, or is he going to be a guy, that's the problem with a lot of those home run hitters, right? Is they don't hit a lot of singles and doubles. Like they strike out a lot. If we're sticking with the baseball reference, he's got to show that he's going to, stick his nose in there and fight for 3 yards on first down. So it's 2nd and 7 and not 2nd and 9. That's what we don't know about him, because and that's not a shot at Evan. He wasn't asked to do that last year.
No. Or like he gets the ball on first down, gets 3, gets the ball on second down, gets 4. Doesn't have to come out of the game and can still make the defense go, well, they might give it to him again because it's 3rd and 3, and now we're tired from defending 2 run plays, and he might break this one for 20 now, and not the first. Like, he's just and those are the questions we won't know until we get into those situations. Yeah. But if things go well, those are the things that you would hope happen.
Yeah.
That's also where legitimate stud Manny Covey can come in and show what he can do as an explosive back.
We're putting legitimate stud,
like potential, like actually good. One
is this
cut
like
and
your
go
2025 version of Dark Horse Heisman candidate?
I'm gonna leave this. It's hovering over the leave studio button. It's the second time that's been brought up today.
I brought it up.
Well, I was not privy to that conversation. I mean, I like Manny's game, but like if things are going good, how many carries is he really going to get?
Yeah, but the depth of if someone needs a rest,
sure,
it's someone who can actually like break something open.
Sure.
Let's timestamp.
No. I have one more on offense.
Okay, go ahead.
Play caller Scott Satterfield. 2023. Didn't really have a quarterback or weapons. 2024, we had a quarterback, wide receivers couldn't get open. He has said that this is the best team he's had. Call plays like it. No more fake. No more fake fumble rooskies on 3rd and 1. Better play calling in the red zone by a mile. I mean, it was a little better last year, but once the season flushed itself out completely, it really wasn't that much better than 2023, which was one of the worst red zone teams I've ever watched play football. Like, you can't say those things. You can't bring in all these weapons. You can't have Joe Royer back. You can't have your quarterback back. You can't get a left tackle that everybody wanted, and then have games where there are moments. And again, I am always hesitant to criticize play calling or critique play calling because we're not in game planning. We're not in any sort of build up to the game. It's very reactionary. The play didn't work, so it was a terrible play call. We have no idea if X player ran the wrong route or whatever happened that totally blew up the play. I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about the times that we've seen over the last 2 years where it felt like, let's do something that they're not expecting instead of let's do something we're actually fucking good at and just see if they can stop it. I feel like that type of stuff happened way too much last year. And you got all these guys now. All right, let's see it. You've called plays your entire life. Sometimes very, very good. Other times, have left some things to be desired. I just want to see it come together. And that is where that and not knowing about the wide receivers is why I can't, I say 8 wins is needed. I'm not there yet to say that that's going to happen. And those are the 2 reasons why.
He has really set it up about what he's told the media, that if it doesn't work out this year, it's solely on him. At the end of the day, the last 2 years, you've been able to say some stuff about, I don't want to say necessarily shifting blame, but there were reasons why stuff.
You can explain away the issues the last couple of years.
Yes. This year, that's not really there.
Assuming health. I mean, that's the one thing that's the one thing we have. None of this takes that into account. But
let's be honest. We still don't know. We think wide receivers should be better. The profiles are better.
Following the trend of 23, 24, 25, yes.
Right.
But none of these, these guys,
what is that jump?
Have taken a snap here.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a big question. It is a big, big question. Did they get the right guys? I think there is for sure positive signs that they have better guys in place. How much better? It's the same thing as I think the team is better. I don't know how much.
Right.
I think the wide receiver room is better. I don't know how much.
Right.
Yet.
If the wide receiver room was a C- and now it's a C+, it's technically better.
Yeah.
How many wins does a C+ wide receiver room get you in the Big 12?
Right. Is it a B? If it's a B, I think this team's got a really bright future. If it's a C+, it's still going to be a struggle. You're still going to be fighting tooth and nail to get to bowl eligibility and tacking on an extra win or 2 at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing about this offense that we don't know yet, but we have to find out. We have to figure out what exactly it looks like. All right, let's timestamp real quick. Brought to you by Turtles Brew. 6% ABV, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, gluten-free. It's a bourbon-infused sweet tea. They have lemonade tea, strawberry mint, cherry lime, raspberry peach, orange vanilla. It's great for tailgating. They've got more than 50 locations. You can buy Turtles Brew in Greater Cincinnati, over 100 in the state of Ohio. All you got to do, visit turtlesbrew.com for more information and locations. And of course, most importantly, a portion of the proceeds go to save the sea turtles. Let's move to defense. Who are we taking out, Dave? We're taking out Dante, Golday.
Okay, I did want to say something about Golday. You can take him out, that's fine. And I'm not saying this is the thing that has to happen for the defense to be good. I'm just saying I want to see if he's as good as we think he can be and takes the next step. I want to see him be talked about as one of the best linebackers in the Big 12. He needs to play at that level.
I would just put Golday in that subtract group because if they're good, he's good.
Right. I think I'm already anticipating him being good. But I think I want to see him be this guy might be defensive player of the league type of shit.
Yeah. I guess I'm just saying if I'm considering somebody that we're going to take out in this conversation.
Right. He would be up there with Dante.
Do we take out McDoom?
No, because we haven't seen him play at this level.
Okay.
He's a nice player at Coastal, but
the PFF grades say he's one of the 5 best returning corners in the Big 12, but he did that at a different level.
Yeah, I don't know how you say one of the 5 best returning corners in the Big 12 who has never played in the Big 12.
And also, this is going to be a very good year for quarterbacks in the Big 12, I think.
Yep.
Everything points to this being a very strong year at the quarterback position, which means it's going to be a very difficult year at the cornerback position.
I mean, they're playing Sawyer Robertson at Baylor, who I think is a dude, Josh Hoover, TCU, Jalen Daniels is back again at Kansas. We'll see. He got things going towards the end of last year. I like Utah's quarterback. He's more of a runner, but like I mentioned, if they've got a great offensive line, I'm sure he'll have time to throw the ball. Rocco Beck. I question Iowa State a little bit because you were replacing 2,000-yard receivers who were second-round picks. I don't think those guys grow on trees in Ames. So we'll see there. But, you said, they're going to play Noah Fatita. They had their issues at Arizona, but he's still a talented dude. They're going to play some good quarterbacks. So we shall see there.
I don't know about Rocco Beck.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is just having two guys that were really, really good.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's what I mean. I don't know what they have coming in. I don't know who they brought in transfer-wise. But that's kind of why I said, you don't typically replace 2 second-round picks at wide receiver at Iowa State. UC's never done that. I mean, they're both very much developmental programs. You had Alec Pierce and Tyler Scott go, and then they really haven't had any receivers of note since then.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, something we might be overlooking. Well, I guess it's technically defense because it's paired with special teams, but Max Fletcher could be one of the most important.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
Team. Okay.
We'll get to him.
And then Matthew McDoom for a returner as well. So
yeah. I think that position, he seems to make the most sense, but they always, teams are always putting a bunch of guys out there in camp. So
can't do Masari this year.
I'm
Defensively,
going to put McDoom number 1. If we're not going to put him in the takeaway category, we saw what having a legit number 1 corner look like with now the highest paid corner in NFL history. That position, number 1 corner, has been bad since then.
Yeah.
It's not been a positive.
Don't tell Arkansas.
So, what?
Don't tell Arkansas.
It is it's a position of great need on this defense. It is a position that helps you get to the quarterback.
Yes.
If you've got an offense that says we're going to think twice, 3 times about throwing it to our best guy, then they're counting on their second and third best guys to get open. McDoom, I think, is, and maybe it's Logan Wilson. We'll see who wins that number 1 job. I'm going to assume, for the sake of this exercise, McDoom wins the number 1 job. I think he's the one that if they have a really, really good year and the defense takes the step, Dave, and I think they can, he's going to be a massive part.
Yeah.
I think Armani Arnold could be extremely important too as the cornerback 3
in the slot, or I guess not really a slot in this defense. I constantly forget that
cornerback 3 doesn't see the field a lot in this defense.
Well, the third, he played a decent amount last year, and he was the cornerback 3.
Well, I don't think he was quarterback 3 when he was playing last year.
Yeah, he was cornerback 2 when he was playing last year.
Was that the last 3 games of the year? Yeah. When Kalen was gone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I both of those guys are going to be critical.
Yeah.
Logan Wilson and McDoom.
Yeah.
That and the defensive line could show the biggest difference in production.
That's my number 1 is edge rusher 1. I don't know who the hell that is. I'm not even going to try to guess.
Jalen White McClain.
Sure. Jalen White McClain. Don't care who it is. but somebody has to be edge rusher number 1. Because for how many years opposing offenses have not had to worry about a single edge rusher that can consistently get to the quarterback?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
I think he'll lead the team in sacks this year.
Michael Coleman, him, CJ like Michael Coleman's body style is not one of like dominant edge rusher. I think he has gotten to the quarterback at the MAC level. Again, we're asking a lot. Guy hasn't played football in a year. Is he going to come out and be a 7, 8, 9 sack dude? I think that's harder in this defense to have someone like that. Does a linebacker get something in that range because of pressure packages and whatnot? But like, I don't care who it is. I don't know who it'll be. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even gonna like hazard a guess. Keegan says Jalen White McClain. I'll go with him.
I think Golday was really the only game wrecker on defense last year.
Jared Bartlett.
He single-handedly won that UCF game last year.
Bartlett filled his role nicely, but Bartlett and him, they need to be complements of someone coming off the edge, not the guys you're looking to be your sack leaders.
Right. I mean,
like
their linebacker is your sack leader.
Their sack numbers, well, in a 3-4, a linebacker can be, but this isn't a 3-4.
A zone blitz scheme, yeah, but that's not what this is.
Their sack numbers last year would have been fine if there was an edge with double-digit or almost double-digit sacks. And your number 2 and 3 sack guys have 3.5, 4 sacks. And you got another guy with 5 or 6. Like, it's just got to come from way more places this year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Dante will be more active as a pass rusher this year? We've seen it in flashes with him.
And he can be active. It's very hard to like actually accumulate numbers because you're straight ahead. The quarterback can see you. He's getting rid of the ball before you're getting out. If he could collapse the pocket immediately, then maybe that helps other people. But like, I'd be pretty stunned if he was like more than if he got 3 sacks, I'd be pretty thrilled.
Be funny to have like White McClain or Coleman on the edge and then put Hunt at nose tackle and then Dante's on the other edge, just seeing what he can do in a pass rush formation.
I don't want to see that.
It's like Aaron Donald, isolate him one-on-one, see what happens.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be Hunt on the other edge.
Slightly different players.
Yes.
You really think Hunt's going to play the edge?
Yes, Keegan. That's where he was going to start. Okay, let me ask you a question. You say a lot that they lost 2 starters last year and Dante. Okay.
Well,
they played 3-man front. Where were those 2 going to start if they weren't going to start at nose tackle?
Jalen Hunt lines up on the strong. Jalen Hunt's the strong side end. Dante's the nose, and Micah Coleman's the other end.
I clarified 2 starter level players in that Jalen Hunt could. I honestly did not know he was an end just because of his body frame. I thought he was like a defensive tackle.
Well, he is, but in a 3-man front, like think about the old Pittsburgh Steelers. The ends were 280, 290, almost 300 pounds. Like
you have to have in a 3-man front, one of your ends has to be able to stop the run, and one of your ends is supposed to get upfield and be a pass rusher, and then your nose tackle. So, yeah, I mean, I would expect when we watch the team run out onto the field Friday or Monday for the first time, Jalen Hunt will be next to Dante Corleone as an end, a strong side, run-stopping defensive end. You're thinking of a 4-man front.
No.
Where you have a nose tackle, a defensive tackle, and then 2 rush ends.
I'm thinking Jalen Hunt would be the second wave of defensive linemen.
Okay, then who's playing strong side end?
Jalen White McClain, Micah Coleman,
no.
Dante Corleone.
Not big enough.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I don't think so. I mean, they might surprise us, but like
teams would just line up and run right at.
That's like very similar to what we saw in 2021. Why I was always a little bothered with playing so much 3-man, 3-down line because we didn't have the dudes on the edge. Because you had Maje, who was your rush guy, but the other side, was not as built well enough to be the run stopping end, to line up over the tackle and have a tight end over you too.
Yeah, it's a 3 technique. It's a defensive tackle that, because you're playing a 3-man front, is playing on as the strong side end. And then you have a backer over top of him that will be more of a rush guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I expect Dante and Hunt to start, and then whoever wins the edge to be on the other side. That's what I think we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah.
You talk to Walt. I just, I mean, last year it was Rob Jackson. When Hunt got hurt, that's what put Rob Jackson into that spot. Is Hunt was supposed to be the one starting next to Dante. Yeah, Dave, edge rusher. They haven't had one. They haven't hit on one. They've hit on one edge rusher in this program in a decade. Really?
Feels like it. Yeah.
No, not feels like it. Like, is it?
Yeah.
Who other than Majay would you say, since Luke Fickell took over 9 years ago, who have been the edge, like the legit pass rushers that they have landed?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Majay. That's it. Somebody's got to step up. We can't continue. We're going on almost a decade, and they haven't had anybody step up in that role. And the defense was great when Majay was here. It's been okay when they haven't had him.
Yeah, going back to that, you don't need as great edge rushers when you have 4 NFL draft picks in your secondary.
Yeah.
So they work in tandem. So, and that is why I'm picking Christian Harrison with one of my selections.
Same.
I know he got beat out into last season by a young player who was very, very good, that coincidentally is apparently now causing problems for the Vols. That's for a different podcast. But yeah, I just think he brings big game experience. His profile fits everything that you need, and I'm expecting him to be a major contributor in the back end this year. We'll see. Can he create turnovers? Is he good I don't even know necessarily where they're going to line him up. Is he in the middle? Is he one of the other 2 safeties? Like, who knows? I think they have so many different guys at safety. That's going to be another one in camp that was like in the spring. It was like almost worthless to chart it because it was different in one practice inside of a practice and different from practice to practice. So we'll see if maybe after higher ground, when they get back to campus, if some consistency shows itself once they get back. But he's going to be the one of the safeties that I'm looking to produce.
Michael Pitts had potential to be very good. I thought it was a rush. I disagree, Marcus. He didn't show it. He played a lot. He never showed it. Like, sure, there was potential for him to be good, but that potential never materialized when he was on the football field. Keegan, you're with him on Harrison over Xavier Williams?
Well, that's one of the storylines that will be talked about before fall camp. Is when I talked to Vite, it seemed like it was very ambiguous who was going to be playing the star, because they have 4 legitimate options, and Harrison, Williams, Antoine Peak, and Jaquan Sanks.
I don't think either of those guys play the star, personally. I think they both end up outside.
Who?
Xavier and Harrison.
I think Xavier Williams plays a star, and then it's Taden Barnes and Christian Harrison on either side. That would be my guess. That's where Williams played the most star, I think, at the end of spring, is what I was told. So that's one of the bigger things I'll be looking for, is where that lines up, just because there's so many freaking spots people can be in this defense. It's so hard to keep track. So
yeah, the interesting thing with Williams, I think, is does he end up at star, or do you see him at one of the two outside spots because you have so many other, because you have Sanks and because you have Peak, and I think they'd like to find a way to get Quavo Sabor on the field. I don't think they're as set at the outside spots. So
yeah, I just think it's hard to take somebody who played 9 games and led his team in tackles out of the most important tackling safety position, where your job is to get downhill and tackle.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I just think they've got more. I think there's more known at star than there is at the other two spots.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I mean, and you guys saw I was at what, 1, maybe 2 practices in the spring, hoping to get to some in this go around. But like, he doesn't seem like an outside guy to me.
Williams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like
6'2", 218. Like, he's a bigger, more physical guy for sure.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking you're bringing him down. You're matching him up on tight ends. Like, I don't think he's the. Now, again, I've barely seen the guy, so like, but just he doesn't strike me as like a turn and run safety. He seems like a go forward safety.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing there is where does Trey Gala-Collard fit in? Like, that's one of your returning guys.
They have so many safeties. It's crazy.
Like 100. It's Marcus Freeman recruiting all over again. We're just going to recruit 100 safeties and figure out what we do from there.
I think 6 of them can play 2 of the 3 positions, so they do have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah,
and maybe by the end of fall camp it's 7, maybe 8, but
yeah, we didn't even see Quavo in the spring because he was hurt, and that's a guy whose athleticism is elite. So, and he talked a little bit today about potentially looking at Sanks at one of the outside positions.
I feel like that fits more than Xavier Williams being at an outside position.
He told us it was Xavier Williams, right?
Xavier, yeah, good.
Yeah, I don't like saying that other thing.
They only bring in Xaviers.
Yeah, Xavier's, not a Xavier. All right, what other names we got?
Taden Barnes.
Yeah. Taden Barnes?
That's my dude. Just put on the Texas A&M tape. That's all I got to say. Go watch that game. He's going to make plays.
He made a big play in the spring game.
He made big plays throughout spring ball. But then, are you going with those 3? Like, is it Harrison, Williams, Barnes?
Probably. I mean, again, if I'm doing, sight unseen, watching 2 practices 2 months ago, sure. Like, yes. If I'm trying to do, if I'm trying to affect the offense and fix an ill that has been on this defense for 2 years, then those are my 3 like playmakers. Taden Barnes can turn and run. I watched him do it against Texas A&M. If you can do it against wide receivers that are playing in the SEC, you can do it against wide receivers in the Big 12.
Was he covering Cyrus Allen?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
I actually don't know. I'd have to go back and watch, but yeah, I mean, those would probably be my 3 frontline guys.
And then that means no Sanks, no Peak, no Trey Gala-Collard that was here. All 3 of the guys that were here last year get pushed out.
Then why? Okay, here's my. Then why'd you bring him in?
Yeah, because there was no depth in the safety room, and you play 3 safeties, Dave. You got to have more.
Right,
than
but I'm
3.
saying like this was what you should be striving for. We needed depth, but we're also bringing in, maybe better players. Like, that's the whole point of it.
I also think safety is the position where the term starter means the least. Maybe linebacker, possibly, but
it's defensive line because they ideally it's
you rotate them
because
most.
They want to rotate them the most. But sometimes you don't do that because you
don't have anyone alive.
Well, I mean, last year I thought there were times that they went to their depth a little too early,
too much,
and too often. We'll see if this is a reason that is maybe a little bit more palatable. But
I mean, it's one of the things we talked about is the first 2 years they did not have the depth to compete in this league. This is part of having the depth to compete in this league, where we're having a conversation about how things are going to go.
Yeah, it's also like Tyson Vite spent last season fitting a square peg in a round hole because he gets to campus and all of a sudden he has this very specific defense where you need specific players to play safety, and he has to figure out a way to do that, and he couldn't really do it, and he was kind of just making the best of a bad situation. Now he spent an entire offseason accumulating guys that can succeed in his defense, which is probably why he brought in so many safeties.
I think if the spine of your defense is Dante Corleone, Jake Golday, Xavier Williams, I think they can have a pretty darn good defense.
Yeah. Christian Harrison.
No. Outside.
Who else do we got on defense? We haven't hit on linebacker at all.
I don't have a linebacker, but I have the combo platter Danny James Gravy Johnson.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's some like who is your Amari Arnold is again.
Ty Stokes is hanging out there.
Again, they're gonna try him at corner now.
He was at corner all spring.
But like, which one of those can one of those young guys get in? Like, both feet into the 2 deep.
Yeah, that I would like to see that too, just because if they can't this year, which I mean, we've already talked about cornerback 3 isn't a huge position on this team, but Daniel James was the highest rated recruit. There's been a lot of talk about Zeravion Johnson kind of having a really high ceiling because of the length that he has. You're in year 2. If you can't get on the field this year, is it another thing where, Logan Wilson's gone, Matthew McDoom's gone, and then they have to bring in more portal guys? Or is it you're just going to go with 2 younger guys who haven't been on the field a ton?
Right.
Yeah, that's there's a lot interesting. This has not been talked about this year. There's going to be a lot gone. Let's say they do have success this year and things roll in pretty smoothly to next year. Boy, we're going to have a whole lot different conversations at this point in time next year, because there are a lot of things that I think there's going to be interesting storylines in camp. This is not a camp we're going into, I'll always look at 2021 when Dave and I sat here for weeks and looked at each other and went, we know. We know exactly what the 1s look like. We know exactly what the 2s look like. There's not a whole lot to talk about. There's plenty to talk about this year, but they do need, Keegan, for the health of the long-term future of the program. There are probably 10 young guys that we need to see this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about your projected 3 starting defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Your projected 3 starting linebackers. And both your corners and one of your safeties.
Yeah. No. They could be replacing 8, 9.
The only 2 guys coming back technically, I think, would be Harrison and Tatum Barnes. Of the
Yeah.
top, of the guys that we've talked about,
Yeah.
the three up front, Jonathan Thompson in with Jack Dingle and Golday, and then the two corners. So you're talking about the two outside safeties could potentially be the only returning starters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark.
And I think that's where, if they have a good season and everybody's gone, because if they don't have as good of a season, it's more likely that some people are back. That's where I feel like this coaching staff can kind of flex their muscles and be like, well, we had a good season. Why did we have a good season? Brendan Sorsby, Joe Royer, Jake Golday, Matthew McDoom, Joe Cotton, Evan Pryor, Terry Walker, all these guys that got out of the portal. So it's not like it's necessarily, well, our recruits haven't developed, because it seems like they've had a lot of success in recruiting out of the portal and bringing those guys in. And will next season be a 10-win season after that? No, because you're going to be replacing 85% of your starters on both sides of the ball. But if you can get a decent QB, maybe you get to 7 wins, and then you can build on that.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation that we'll probably have as we continue to go through camp. But there is a need to get young guys on the field, but there's also a need to win 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're at a crossroads of
I feel like one of those needs significantly outweighs the other.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Sure.
I also feel like if they don't get on the field, it probably means they aren't good enough. And that's also okay, because you can replace them easily in the portal.
No, you can't.
Well, you can't replace them
still
easily.
Yeah, you still have to have some level of development in your program, Keegan. That you're not every year just going into the portal and replacing 8 starters.
But
8 Big 12 level starters. There's
talking,
not enough money to do that.
We're talking specifically about corners. But Simeon Coleman's good, Monte Whedon's good, Sabor's good, Sanks is good. So like they are
those
doing
guys
that.
going to stick around if they don't play this year?
I think they're like everyone but Quavo is going to play. I can truthfully, honestly say everyone but Quavo will play.
That stuff doesn't even matter though anymore. Guys are leaving that are playing. It's just that's why it's like kind of pointless to talk. You know, it's like what Nico said the other day. You used to develop a team and get 4th and 5th year seniors, and now you have an 8-month team. Like, so that's why I'm like, I don't even think about it.
Yeah, I would just rather not, in a year where you lose all your guys, be going into next year with a bunch of guys from the portal that you know nothing about. In terms of
I agree. Ideally, you're able to kind of marry those two things, but I'll take 8-9 wins and have to figure out the 2026 roster over 5, 6, 7 wins, and still have to figure out the 2026 roster because you maybe had to make a coaching change.
And it's also, if they get 8-9 wins,
or
the talent level of portal player is up a level, and then like
hypothetically,
but
everything
winning
in the portal
makes
is
things
hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetically. Money is still the driving factor there. Linebacker, you know, we know the main 3 guys. We know the guys that and there's been a lot of I mentioned Coleman and Whedon, and Vite quickly corrected me to add Sims into that, which seems like they think he's had an incredible offseason and think he's ready to take a next step.
I think he's at his 3rd different position coach since being at UC.
I think that's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But year 3, that's a critical year for him. If he's going to show it, it's time to show it now. Got to see it.
Another name I have is CJ McRae, just because if you're looking to get off the field on 3rd down, having that explosive pass rusher rested and being able to explode a play and get those sacks is big. And all I've heard is that he's got that like extra twitch that the pass rushers need. So,
yeah. I mean, look, we can throw 7 names at the wall at who's going to get after the quarterback. Not 7, but you get my point. Is it going to be Marquez Parker? Is it going to be McCray? Is it going to be White McLean? Is it going to be Mike Coleman? Like, that's why Dave had it number 1 in this list. If one of those guys, and hell, if they combine for 10 sacks between those 4 or 5 guys, I think it's a huge win. Don't you, Dave?
Not 4 or 5 guys. 10, that's 2 sacks a dude.
Yeah, but you're rotating them. Like, in the theory that you're going to be rotating them in pass rush situations.
No, against, like, we just rattled off the list of quarterbacks that they're going to be playing. And the offenses that are going to be able to put up points. Like, you're not going to stop teams if they don't have to help with any of your edge guys.
Yeah.
And I don't think you got, like, if a guy's getting 2 or 3 sacks in a season, and say 5 of them get that, okay, that's 15. I mean, you got teams getting 40, 50, 60 sacks in a year.
Yeah.
Like, 60
and
might
usually
be, 60 might be an exaggeration, but like
60 might be a reach, Dave.
I think they had like what 21 last year or something like that.
Yeah. You need a guy with 6 or 7 at least.
I mean, gotta approach double digits. Gotta have somebody that can sniff that. So,
and at least then it stands out on tape. Teams have to game plan for it. They have to,
right,
like you said, send an extra guy or leave a back to chip that might otherwise be hanging out in the middle of the field, looking to make a catch and be a check down and get a big gain. Yeah. Special teams. Look, I'm as high on Max Fletcher as you can possibly be.
Who's the long snapper?
Jaden Perry.
Okay.
Right? No, it's Eli Stein.
They got.
Yeah, Jaden Perry's gone.
Jaden Perry graduated.
Yeah. Chad, you're higher on Max Fletcher than Scott Satterfield was at the end of last season.
Yeah, I had a strong disagreement with how that was handled at the end of last season. I love Mason Fletcher. I didn't think he was healthy enough. He did not perform like he was healthy enough to have been the guy that you continued running out there at the end of last season. I thought it should have been Max.
Significantly impacted the game.
Especially after he rocked Buddy against West Virginia.
Yeah. It was that from that point on. Yeah.
His kicks were flat. Guys were getting a chance to return it because he was not getting enough hang time. The distance was still fine, but when your gunners are 4 yards, 5 yards away from the guy catching the ball, you're in trouble. And I want to know. I want to see when we get back to the indoor facility, like, is Max hitting the roof? Because I think he can. It's way up there. Mm-hmm. I think he can hit the roof. Like, his hang time on his punts when he gets a hold of one is incredible.
You were saying he looked better than Mason last fall. Last spring, I think.
As soon as he got here.
Yeah.
His punts looked different. His punts were like, you stand there and like, was that Mason? Oh, that was Max. Uh-oh.
I'm going
to handle that
personally, I think it's a wasted roster spot, but that's just my opinion.
What happened?
I would never punt.
Dave hates punter. He would never punt.
No.
I would love to do that. Be a college football coach and always go for 2 and always go for it on 4th down.
I would.
Just see how the boards react to that.
13 from your own 20. Dave's got his quarterback out there.
No, I mean, the quarterback might be out there, but he might be out there to punt.
He's not a punter.
Don't care. Give me another wide receiver. Give me another edge rusher.
You have 105 spots, Dave. You can have a spot for punter. Like the game. And even you had 85
having a punter just gives coaches an excuse to punt from the opponent 40-yard line on 4th and 3.
I'm with you on that. I hate that. I don't want to see a coach punt 4th and 3 from the opponent 40-yard line. I don't want that. And that, place kicking. I've seen guys I feel totally comfortable with get into a season and not get the job done.
That's the funniest thing is that we just spend an hour and 35 minutes talking about this position so important. It's going to be so much better. It has to be. And then the kicker can miss 6 kicks and they can go 5-7 for
does Max hold, or who's their holder?
I think Max holds, yeah.
Does he?
I think he held last year, didn't he? Or was that Mason?
Mason
Max
held.
didn't play last year.
Max didn't play.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. Sorry. I'm not good at my job.
Marcus, whatever you're having, let me know what dispensary you got.
Utah, give me 2. Maybe
Tim Griffin equals Javon Curse or Julius Peppers.
Just
I hope you're right.
One Hall of Famer and one guy that has 100 sacks in his career.
I hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right. Special teams, though, in every phase, cost them games.
Yeah, I hope you guys get a chance to talk to the new special teams coach, or
I've been trying to get him on this show for 3 months,
or Coach Satterfield, and just be like, okay, you hired a special teams coach. How's it going to be different? Because last year was poopy pants special teams.
Okay.
I think that's my first story from fall camp. Special teams.
Stop saying fall. Can we stop saying fall camp?
No, it's awesome. It's my 2 favorite words put together in the entire world.
Please.
I'm just gonna,
do you like it or do you want to stop?
Stop saying it's not fall.
It's not fall. It's August.
It's not even August.
July.
Just because they're selling pumpkin Reese cups already at the gas station, that's a thing. Doesn't mean that it's fall.
I saw somebody post a picture. I don't know if it's how accurate it was, but they said it was from Hobby Lobby. They had Christmas trees out.
What are we doing?
It's fall camp.
No, it's
Monday.
Pre-season camp.
Monday. 93 degrees. Tuesday, 93 degrees. Wednesday, 91 degrees. There's nothing fall about that, Keegan. Do you know the first day of fall?
Don't care. It's fall camp.
Do you know the first day of fall?
September 1st? I don't know.
No, it's September 22nd, 21st.
September 21st. At least get to September before you're calling it fall. You're in the middle of summer. The middle of summer.
We'll have played
2 months of summer.
The Bearcats will have played 4 games before September 21st.
Before fall, right. That's why they wear white on the first game, Dave. The first home game is in white because it's summer and it's 1,000 degrees at Nippert Stadium.
But yes, special teams. Why is it going to be better? Because you hired someone? Okay, but why?
Hopefully because that person is significantly better than the last person.
What did you watch last year in studying your roster and what they did last year? What did you watch and what did you glean from that? And what changes? Let's get super granular on this. Tell me alignments and punt block formations and punt defense. I want to know it all. Tell me everything that you're going to do to make this not one of the worst special teams in the country.
It cost some games. Are you going to be able to teach your kick and punt returner not to jump up and touch a ball 7 feet over their head that you can't catch?
I don't think there's anything to teach there. That's just not being a very smart football player.
I still like Braden Smith. I think he was good at football. Just FYI.
He's a terrible decision maker as a punt returner.
And now he's flying airplanes, so put those 2 things together.
Oh, yeah. Special teams have to be better because it can help decide games. I mean, I still think I watched a punter win a game almost by himself in the history of this program, Dave.
Yeah. Kevin Huber, Rutgers. Long time ago. Not the game everybody thinks of, a different game.
No. Pinned him at the 1 twice and at the 3, right? The one.
I think, he had like three or four kicks that were down inside the 5.
And they won the game, what, 10-7?
I think it was 13-10 or 10-7. Something very low scoring.
Yeah. There was maybe 2 touchdowns scored in that game, and Kevin Huber put Rutgers inside the 5, I think 3 times, twice at the 1. Yeah, I watched.
So, we know the margin of error is very small in this conference.
Yeah.
You can't give possessions away. Like the West Virginia game was the perfect example of that last year. Like everybody went crazy when Mason knocked the piss out of the punt returner, but he also returned it like 25 yards to our 35-yard line.
Yeah.
Like
great hit. Congratulations. But they're about to score a touchdown because
everyone around me is going crazy, and I'm just like, yeah, they're starting at our 30. Like, great. That was awesome.
Any final thoughts, boys?
No, should be. I'm interested. I know you guys talked about the higher ground thing the other night. I'll be shunned for saying this. I wouldn't go back at all. I don't think the value of 5 days in team building has anywhere near the value of having everything from recovery and weightlifting and just everything that you have on, like, in your life. If you have, what is the goal? To have everything under one roof, right? Whether it's your office, whether it's your home. Well, now they have it. So why am I going to some? I mean, yes, it has its benefits. I'm not saying it has 0 benefits, but like I feel like the benefits that they now have on campus outweigh whatever benefit you get from going out there.
Here's the interesting thing. For a long time, they have started at UC and done the acclimation period at UC, which is 2 days, nothing, just helmets. And
they've gone out.
Whatever.
The first day out there has usually been shells.
Right. So they are doing the first week at higher ground, which means Monday and Tuesday are going to be helmets, then spider pads, and then I think they'll have one fully padded practice at higher ground, and then they'll come back. So I agree with you in terms of you built this thing for a reason. Well,
here's my other thing. It's one thing to go out there, like Royer said, they were out there 18 days. That was like COVID.
That was COVID.
They've usually gone out there about roughly 2 weeks, and they've come back intermittently for if going out there 5 days makes that big of a damn difference, then the last hour and a half that we talked about positions doesn't mean shit. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I will give it this, Dave. In an era where these guys don't even know each other as they're getting ready to go into a season.
That's why you built all this stuff. They have no reason to leave. What's the difference? Go out in the woods and sleep on a crappy bed in a bunkhouse, or be in a facility with your teammates nonstop.
The difference is what you do when you walk out of that building. You going and hanging out with your girlfriend? Are you going maybe?
If that's what you're doing, then you're not. Then you shouldn't be around. If you can't handle getting ready for the season and not going out and doing that stuff just because we're here and not there, then I got no time for you on the roster.
Dave, how long did it take you to finish college?
Well, I got 2 degrees.
Okay. So
it took me a couple more years than it should have.
Why?
Because I was lazy. It wasn't. I wish
a lot of fun.
No. I wish it was because I wish I had story on top of story on top of story to tell you. No, it was because I was lazy.
All right. Well,
I did have a lot of fun, but also you're getting paid now. Big difference.
yeah, that's fair.
That is the transaction. Okay. You want to get paid? You want to be treated like an adult that we're going to pay you for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks to get ready for the season? Don't go out.
I will just say I don't mind them going out there for the acclimation period.
I don't mind it. I think they'll eventually just stop because after this first year, they'll go, why did we do that again? Like, we did it because of tradition, and we haven't had a time in this facility yet, and now we've had a full year in this facility, and the things that we didn't know, now we know, and we don't need to go out there.
I would just say, remember, they invested a lot of money into higher ground as well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that stuff. So did all these NFL teams that have now decided. I mean, very few of them go away. I mean, the Cowboys and the Saints do it just because of weather.
Well, and the Cowboys do it because they built a facility in Oxnard, California.
But it started because it was too hot to practice outside in Dallas, so Jerry just built his own facility. But like the Saints have been doing it for years. They used to go to the Greenbrier. They've gone all sorts of different places. But yeah, like your goal is to strive to have everything at your fingertips. And so you're going to leave and have to go build a weight room and transport cold tubs and do all these things for rehab and conditioning and everything when you can just do it there.
Yeah.
And if you want to get some heat in, you have a football field outside. Like it's not like you can't go practice at Nippert if you want to practice on a hot day.
And the two most important people in that relationship are no longer part of it.
Well, I know one. Who would be the other?
His wife, Chuck and Brenda.
I was thinking on the UC side, like Wid's still here.
Wid's still here. But Chuck and Brenda owned higher ground for all of that, and now they don't.
Right.
And now it's being operated by different people that I don't think are as good.
Yeah.
Just a personal opinion. So that could play part of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly served its purpose for many, many years. But now I think you have something that can more than make up for any shortcomings that you had out there.
Yeah.
And you should use it to your advantage.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong. I would be completely aligned with you if they were still doing the acclimation period back here and then going out there for like the meat of camp, like the hard part. But I would just say this. Let's say I've seen some things out there that would never have happened back here.
Right.
With the new facility.
Mm-hmm.
And things that are going to happen, like just part of the process. But I mean,
guys get hurt.
But not just guys get hurt. Like
it gets hot.
It gets real hot, and you're dealing with so and so just dropped.
Well, and you don't have
3 days,
and you have a totally different mentality and mindset in 2025 that you had even 10 years ago. Like, you don't have the coaches who are like, oh, yeah, we got to practice outside. We got to get ready for the heat. It's like the Bengals switched to the morning because it's cooler. Yeah. You have this facility. Use it to your advantage. Like, it's not a let's see how hard we can make it till we break them and then have something bad happen because we're overexerting our athletes because we're trying to prove a point. Like, no, get your work done. It's about getting work done and becoming a better football team.
I'm close to a full alignment with you, Dave. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it. I just think it will end.
And
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be I would never say they shouldn't do it. I just think it will end here in the next year or two. Especially, especially if there was they did not have a good year and there was a staff change and there's no tie from whoever comes in to go out there.
That's the thing is we're probably because what people don't know is every new coach has hated the idea of going out there
until they go out.
And then once they get out there, they're like, all right, this is workable. Like I can make that, I like this. It kind of gives the old school, what North Texas 40 was that
and with the portal, it's like half these dudes and freshmen, I mean, more than half these guys have never been out there anyway.
Right. You're not getting the stories of, guys going out there for their 5th year.
Or 6th.
And if the other thing I would say, if rest and recovery is as important as they say it is, go look at where they've got the apartment rooms or whatever for the upperclassmen.
Blackout rooms, you got float tubs, you got UV whatever cryobaric chambers. Like you're not going to use those for a week of we're just going to say nope, we're not going to use those for a week because we're going to go to the woods.
The freshmen and the transfers sleep in a bunk room.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like military.
Like the military. It's just beds in a fucking giant field house.
Yeah.
As far as the eye can see. No, go sleep in your own bed. Maybe get a little rest.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. Anything else, Keegan?
Nope. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
Good to have you, buddy. We'll all be rotating in and out and covering camp. Keegan's going back to Vegas, not this weekend, but next weekend. So we'll have to figure that out for a couple days. But maybe a new intern in the fold. Maybe somebody new providing some content coming here very soon. Dave hopefully can make it out maybe a little bit more this year than in years past, especially once we get back to campus.
Oh,
and
that'll be, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know, but we're gonna have, as always, coverage better than anyone, the best in the market, the best team in the market, the best coverage in the market. So that will continue as always. And as Dave declared earlier, it's football season. Let's get to it. Fall camp. Preseason camp is upon us. That's the BCJ podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail and, of course, Cincy Light, right here on BearcatJournal.com.